So boys and girls, today your job is to make a circus performer. I have a few things here to inspire you because the first thing you're going to be doing is making your person. And a lot of you will be excited to have gotten that far. But then after that, you got to move on. You got to think, what does your circus performer do? You might need to be making some accessories or for some things for them to sit on or something to hold. So let's start with the basics. When you sit down, you're going to find a piece of paper that looks like this, and there's going to be 2 wires on there and a piece of clay. Some of you, when you first sit down, are going to think, what, I only got clay. But it's just that you can't see the wire. And then you're going to be sitting there trying to pick this up. Please stop, because that'll never pick up. It's a picture. So I have this here just so that you can kind of reference the size, but I'll move that out of here for just a moment so you can see that I have 2 wires. Basically, it started off as one long wire and one wire that was a little bit shorter, as you can see here. But just to kind of help you out, I took the one wire and I bent it in half. And then I took the other wire and bent it in half. I just thought I'd help you out and do that part for you for this first one. So in order to make a person, you're going to lay them on top of each other like this. And I like to call this thing right here my rainbow, okay? Now, if I hold it here, my rainbow is super, super tall. But I want to have a nice, reasonable rainbow right there. Now, I want you to notice how I'm holding this. I've got this right here in my hand, like I just placed it in my hand, but I'm using my thumb and I'm pressing down really hard to hold it there. If I want to really make sure I've got it, I could even bend it just a little bit more and hold on to it for dear life, okay? Now I'm going to turn it this way. I've got my little rainbow going right there. And now I'm going to take this finger and I'm going to hold on to it and I'm going to twist. It's almost like when you put a key into the door and then you twist it. You kind of have to hold on to it firmly. But here's the deal. You have to hold on to this very firmly as well. So I don't have my rainbow way out here. No. I've got it nice and close. I pick up this and I twist. So right now I have my very first twist, and you can kind of see if you look back over here how this is going to end up. I'm trying to make the head, but if I only twist it once, we're not going to get far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to it really tight because I would like it to be that this space stays there. So I'm going to push really hard over here. It should almost be that when you lift up your finger, you can see the imprint of the wire. But here it goes, so I'm going to twist 1, 2. So in all, I twisted 3 times. And I have a nice twist where I'm going to be able to lift up what are supposed to be the arms and leave down what are supposed to be the legs. And I'm going to be ready to move on. Now let me show you what might happen to you, because it's happened to a lot of people. You've got your rainbow, you got your 2 pieces, you put it here. You're like, you're not all the way out here. You got it just like this. And you do your first twist and you're like, oh, I'm doing it. And then you do 2 more. And then all of a sudden you have this. Or even worse, you have something that looks like this. So you guys are smart enough to see what happened. I twisted and all of this twisted with it. Now my guy has very short hands and a very long neck. He's very sad because he looks like a giraffe. Poor guy. Okay, let's figure out what happened. What happened was you were a little bit too wimpy. No offense, but you were a little wimpy. So what we're going to do is untwist it, and we're going to go back and figure out where things went wrong. Remember when I said you have to hold on to this tight? You want to have it so tight that when you turn, look back and go, do I still have a space here? Yep. Hold on tight. Oh! Do I still have a space? Yeah. If you turn and you like, oh no, I don't have a space, that was because you're being a little wimpy. You got to hold on tight and twist, and then you'll have it, okay? Now, when you do your arms and legs, you're going to be thinking, good grief, Miss Turks went crazy on having super long arms. Look, my legs aren't even the same shape. Don't worry about that right now. The one thing you may still want to do is to get a little bit of a waist on your guy. We don't want him to have the longest torso in America. So what you're going to do is just put your finger here and you'll just do a little twist right here. And now you're going to have a waist for this guy. Okay? Now, let's talk about what you're going to do with him. First of all, you might be so excited. You might be like, oh my goodness, I already made something. And you might think, oh, I'm going to make him an acrobat. I'm going to put his arms up. I'm going to bend his legs. And, ooh, I'm going to be even crazier. I'm going to have him be upside down. Well, how are you going to do that? The way you're going to hold him is that you're going to have this piece of clay. You're going to put it down. And you're going to push him into the clay. Now I'm going to change our view here for just a second so that you can see, because it's kind of a bad angle like this. So let's check this out. Here's the guy I just made. You might come to me and say, I'm done, it looks great. Well, yeah, it does look great, but how could we make it even better? You might say, well, I'm going to get crazy and have it be that he's upside down. Who ever thought of that? Well, I'll tell you, just about everybody. You can do more. I mean, I'm proud of you. You got this far, but you can do more. My friend Jake here, he said, oh, okay, I'll have my guy be a strongman. So he figured out how to use one wire to make a barbell, or whatever you want to call that thing, the muscle man thing. What is that called? Anyway, so can you see how he took one wire, he wound it up over here, and then he took the same wire and brought it across, and then he did it over here. He first made it, and then in order for it to be held on, he wrapped the hands around it. That's why it's nice to keep those hands a little bit long, because then if you want to attach it to something, you just wrap it around. Now he brought it to me. He was pretty proud of himself. I thought it looked awesome too, but I said, whoa, how could you make it even more dangerous, more spectacular, more America's Got Talent worthy of the $1 million prize? Well, he decided to just super quick make this apparatus here. So it was that he was standing on top of this thing while holding on to the strongman stuff. Whoa, way better. Well, how does he do this? First of all, he bent the wire like that, and then he used that extra wire down on the legs to attach it there. Super cool. Let's look at what someone else did. This person started off with this guy upside down. We're not even going to talk about this little person yet. We'll get to that in a minute. Then attached it to the legs of this person with a hula hoop, thank you very much. And then with another hoop attached to this person who is now standing upside down. Pretty cool. And then here's someone who did something kind of simple. They wanted it to hang, so they made this little apparatus here. Now already, what's so great about you guys is that in the nicest way possible, you're already going, oh, that was good, but I know how I could do it even better. And that's why I love you, because I know you're so smart that you're always thinking of how you can do even more. Now, before you get too excited, let me just show you a few things before I let you go. First of all, how do you attach something together? We saw that Jake had made that big old barbell thing out of wire. And if he wants to attach it, so let's just recreate that. If he wanted to have that be the beginning of his barbell, then he would go like this. And again, he's going to hold it together. He's got to wrap that hand, that wire around here. So look, we're going to hold on tight, and he's going to just go around and around and around. And by the time he's done, it is now securely in this guy's hand. Ooh, we could turn it into a flaming, I don't know, you guys are good. Sometimes you just stop right there and your brain starts to go, okay, what could that be? Now, let's talk about something else. What if I decided that I didn't want it to be that? I wanted it to be that he was jumping rope. Well, let me show you how you attach two wires together. You might think, oh, I'm just going to do this, but that, that's going to be hard. Oh, I'll tie it in a knot. No, not with wire. What you do instead is you put the two wires next to each other. Now, you don't put them so close that you only see one. You put them next to each other like this. And again, you're going to hold on super tight here, and you are going to twist those two wires together. When you're done, you'll just flip it up. And now your guy has this cool jump rope. You can have it be like that, like he really is doing it, whatever. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do. It's gonna be awesome. Now, some of you are gonna say, whoa, but how did that person have 5 people? That's no fair. And then how did they make this little baby person? Well, let me show you. I'm gonna have lots and lots of extra wire for you. And if you have a piece of wire, you can make a person. Remember how I said that you need one long wire and one shorter wire? Well, you could take a wire like this. You could take another one, cut it just a little bit shorter, and then do what I did at the beginning. Bend it in half, bend it in half, rainbow, rainbow, hold it in your hand like you mean it, twist, 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 open it up. And just like that, you have this enough for here. But what if you want it to be a little baby acrobat? Well, all you remember, you just need one longer one and one shorter one, right? So here, maybe if this is my long piece, then this would be my short piece. I bend this one in half. I bend this in half. I put the 2 rainbows together. I hold it in my hand like this. And I do twisty, twisty. And now looky, looky, I now have this adorable little person. I'll stop. You've got this guy along with this guy. And I can only imagine some of you are going to get ridiculous and end up making something like that. I'm not going to bug you anymore. Some people, if you're like me, if I'm thinking about a circus performer, or if I'm looking at something like this, I know what I want to do, but I kind of need to draw it out first in order to figure it out in my head. Like if I wanted to do that, then I would say, okay, if this is my mound of clay down here, how am I going to get that to happen? Well, it could be that I would say, okay, I'm going to take one piece of wire, I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to bend it like this, and then I'm going to come back down. That would probably be easier than me starting with a mound of clay, putting 2 big pieces of wire like this, and then trying to figure out how to attach another piece of wire here. So now that I have that, I know that I would have my little guy, and I would wrap his leg around there. And then this guy would be like that, he's like this, he's like this, and then, good grief, now I got to figure out, maybe I would wrap a piece of wire here to have this come up. And then I would make my little guy, and I would figure out how to wrap that around his little head, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, sometimes it's easier. If you think, Jake came to me and he said, Miss Heatrix, I'm doing something that I think the thin wire isn't going to be thick enough, so I gave him thicker wire. And if you were doing something like this, I would kind of think that you probably would do better if you had a little bit of a thicker wire right here. If you draw me a picture, I will give you thicker wire. Get to work.